think the important thing to know about the law library here at the University of Iowa is that it is very much a unique resource.
This collection is strong and deep, not just in modern law, not just in legal history, not just in U.S. law, but also in international and comparative law.
This law library is one of the very best places to do research in the law in the United States of America. It didn't start that way. It was always a good library, but it did not become a great library until recent years. The #1 priority for the expenditure of resources in an efficient manner was to build the information collection to serve the needs of the students and faculty in the law school, university, and the people in the state.
We basically get about 350 to 400 new books a month. So over a year, we're talking 4,000 to 5,000 pieces. Continuations and serials are hundreds, if not thousands a month. We have several thousand serial titles on subscription.
The law library is about the second or third largest law library in the country. We are the largest public law library in the country, and we add about 17,000 to 20,000 volumes per year. We really do focus on building that collection, both the print and the electronic collection, so that our users, whether they be practitioners, students, faculty, have access to the broadest collection of legal material possible.
We're designated as a government documents depository, so we get federal documents, nearly all the documents published by the U.S. government.
We have everything that you'd expect, and we have a lot of things that you wouldn't expect would exist at all.
We had some note or article or something that cited like this random, like a 1950s statute from Pakistan. I was able to figure out where like Asian countries' law books were, and then just sort of stroll the shelves until I find like the 1958 Pakistan Code, and there it is.
There are a lot of things from various time periods through different wars that we have down there that you wouldn't expect.
We've now added Portuguese speaking in Brazil and Spanish language vendors from Mexico.
A collection of Russian Tsarist statutes and laws.
We have in print all the opinions by the German Federal Constitutional Court, a huge set of volumes, yeah?
World Wrestling Federation law book meant for the wrestlers, apparently to negotiate contracts and things like that.
And I've even been able to help the Law Library of Congress because we had something that they didn't.
It is absolutely stunning what you can find here.
Because of all of this, we get people literally from all over the world that come visit the Iowa Law School to use its law library because of the remarkable collection and depth of our collection in all formats.
It brings in faculty. They come here because of our library. They come here because of our collections.
A scholar is only as good as the information at his disposal. I need certain books, I need certain primary sources in order to do my research. Those materials are here, which means that I can get the work done during the academic year. I don't need to go away during the summers to some other library or archive.
Our students are incredibly lucky to have these rich resources here. When any of the journals do what they call an authority check, where they are checking the citations for all items mentioned in journal articles, they pretty much can find everything on our shelves. And having come from other institutions, I can tell you how rare that is.
Not only does it have a lot of legal services and books and whatnot, to me what was most helpful were the staff members, because they're more than willing, and they're willing to go beyond what I expected, and they were extremely helpful.
We really do have an exceptional team of reference librarians. All of our reference librarians hold both JD degrees and MLS degrees, so they really do have a basic understanding of the legal system that really does help in providing reference and research assistance.
The librarians working here, they're experts in their field, and this is extremely helpful. It makes working making working on the project so easy in the United States. I think the United States are unsurpassed. And the University of Iowa, this library is one of the best in the nation, and therefore in the world. Yeah.
I mean, as a law student, research is kind of intimidating. How can I possibly distill what I need out of everything in this entire room plus everything on the internet?
Always start with the law librarian. Always start with somebody in reference if it's not at a law library, because they can often give you the shortcuts that they've spent years learning. They also know the very specific resources, in this case of the University of Iowa Law Library, that might save the user a lot of time.
We're here. We're here to help. You don't learn the law, you don't have the law in your pocket when you run out of here. So anything that walks in the door, you've got to track down what you need to know. Yes, Google, yes, Westlaw Next, yes, Lexis Advance try to hand you the world, but you still have to decide what it is you look at in those systems. You pay by what you open, and so you need to make good choices, and you need to know the best way to get in, get what you need, and get on your way.
You can learn a lot about law by looking at books and reading and stuff like that, but you really learn law from another human being. And I think the library is the same way. People bring this place to life, and depending on what you're interested in, finding the right person will unlock a whole new universe.
There's an increasing emphasis and increasing importance on making sure that law school graduates, when they graduate, are ready to practice. And one of the key areas of practice is legal research. So legal research training during those 3 years of law school is increasingly important.
That's what you need to do as the 1L summer intern, pretty much, because the partners don't have the time to do all that research. But going to this law school, I think, has provided me with that skill. And so I think to the prospective law students who are possibly looking at Iowa, I think that's one of the best skills you can walk out here with.
One of the things that I told my students just this week was that they're working on a brief, and so we're talking about the iterative process of legal research and how you frame your issue and you do research and then you go back and you distill the issues that you need to argue and discuss in order to prove your initial thesis. And they were frustrated with various aspects of it, and what I told them was, what you're doing right now really is the practice of law. You're never going to go to school long enough, even if you go longer than 3 years, to know everything there is to know about the law. So being able to do research, being able to figure out what the law is and translate that, distill that, and then weave an argument from that is the crux of what a lawyer does every single day. And the basis of that is always, always, always legal research.
I think the library is a great achievement, and it's one that we don't talk about very much. But the library is not just physically at the heart of the building. I think it's also very much symbolically at the heart of what we do. Law is about information and digesting the information, analyzing it, providing it to clients, to students, and without this library's great resources, we wouldn't be able to do the kind of scholarship and teaching that we do. This collection has been built up over time. We are the beneficiaries of a long-standing commitment to this library as an information resource, and I hope that future generations will show the same interest and commitment in maintaining the library.